It is the end of Q1 2021, and I think especially at the beginning of the new year, we all set a lot of New Year's resolutions and goals of things that we would like to bring into our life. So I wanted to use today's video to reflect with you on a couple of different things. I want to talk with you about my system of how I set goals on a monthly basis and how I kind of trickle it down in order to make sure I achieve my goals. And I also want to talk with you about two other things. I want to talk with you about what I learned in the last 3 months and if I have actually achieved all of the goals that I set for myself. And I also want to talk with you about the biggest mistakes I see people make that are not achieving their goals. So let's get started. Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Julia Arndt, and I'm a peak performance coach and stress management trainer. And I'm excited that you're watching this video today because I think goals is a really interesting topic. All of us are setting goals all the time, but it is kind of easy to set goals, let's be honest, but it is really, really hard to follow through on them. So today is a video where I'm mixing a lot of different things, personal things, things that I'm reflecting on for myself, but also hopefully things that will be helpful for you in order to be more successful with your own goals. And the first thing that I want to talk with you about is my system of how I set goals. I have created different templates and templates for my upcoming journal that I am planning to bring out in the summer of 2021 in order to really be clear on my goals and in order to break it down month by month and then week by week and obviously also day by day in order to make sure that I am really being clear on my goals, but also that I'm starting to integrate them into my day-to-day. So what I do, first of all, the system that I use is those templates, and I write down for the month, for example, of March, what kind of things I would like to achieve. So what do I really want to do? For example, in the month of March, I really wanted to be more active. I wanted to get into a better workout routine, but I also planned on working on my daily planner because I'm starting the design process with my designer next month. And I also wanted to write a chapter because I am currently working on a book project with a couple of other authors. So lots of different things going on in my life, both on a personal level and a business level. And so for me, it's always really important to be really clear, okay, what are my overall goals, first of all, and then breaking that down into smaller goals. So I would basically mark the weeks where I have kind of a focus week of what do I want to do next. Do I want to, for example, use one full week on writing my book chapter? Or do I want to use one full week in order to work on my daily planner? There's all these different things, but I find it really helpful to kind of visualize what I want to do. So the templates that you see, I basically print them out and then I really write it down because I find it way more powerful to have that in front of me on paper and to have it next to my desk than to just see it on a screen. So that is the first thing that I do. That is my system. And now the question is probably, okay, have I actually achieved my goals? And that brings me to the learnings that I've had over the first 3 months of 2021. I haven't achieved all of my goals because I'm not a perfect human being like you. We are all not perfect and we are all oftentimes setting goals that might not be super realistic, or other things are coming up in our life that just prevent us from doing the things that we set out to do. So the best example that I have for that is that I really want to get into a workout routine in March because I was really motivated to get back into shape, and it's getting warmer outside, the days are getting longer, and I'm really motivated to get back into my summer body. But after the first week of being super good and super consistent with my new workout routine, I got sick. And I got strep throat. I had to take antibiotics for 7 days, and I wasn't allowed to really work out because I felt super weak. My immune system felt really down. So no workout routine in March. And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to try it again in April, but it just meant that I had to delay this goal up until the next month. And that brings me to my first learning, because sometimes you can have the best intentions, but just things happen in life that sometimes we cannot control. Like, for example, getting sick, or things happening in your family or with work that sometimes are uncontrollable. So the best intentions sometimes don't bring us closer to our goals, but it is really important that you don't forget that you can always start again. So this is one thing that I find super, super important and something that always inspires me and motivates me to keep going, because every day is a new day to start again working on the goals that you set for yourself. Oftentimes we think, oh, I set this goal and then now it's March and I haven't been able to do this, so I'm just gonna have to wait until January 2022 in order to start setting new goals. No, you can always set new goals at any point in time. It is really important that you start small and that you have the best intentions, because at the end of the day, that's all we can do, right? We can just try our best every single day. And finally, I think the biggest realization that I had as well over the course of the first 3 months of this year is that we just have to practice gratitude, and that we have to be grateful and appreciate the things that we already do and that we already have. Because let's be honest, we are oftentimes way too hard and way too serious with ourselves. And if we cut ourselves some slack, then life can be really so much easier. So practicing gratitude, just really being mindful of the things that you already have in your life and that you have already done. Like for me, for example, yes, I didn't achieve my goal of being super consistent with a new workout routine from the beginning of March onwards, but I already worked out 3 or 4 times in the first week, and I did start to work out again in the last week of March as well. And I'm celebrating that. Yes, there were 2 weeks in between where I wasn't able to work out, but it doesn't mean that I need to stop and I can't continue with this goal. So it is really, really important that you remind yourself of that. And that brings me to the next topic that I want to talk with you a little bit more about, which is how do we actually start to set goals and what happens after we set a goal. In order to be successful with your goals, I think there's 3 kind of easier steps that you can start to do in order to set yourself up for success. The first step, super simple, is that you set a goal that motivates you. I think the second important thing is that you're writing it down. Oh my God, I think it's so powerful to write a goal down, no matter if it is on a little sticky note or if it is in your diary or on your computer, no matter where you are writing down your goals. I think it's really important that you do that, because it just manifests it a little bit more that there's something that you really want to do. And the third step of being successful with your goal is obviously to get started, right? So 3 simple things. Number 1, you set a goal that motivates you, you write it down, and you get started. 3 simple steps, right? This is, all of us can do this. This is super short term, and you can probably do this today, right? Super simple. But here comes the tricky thing. The tricky thing about setting goals and about achieving your goals is to be consistent. And consistency is super difficult, and we just talked about this, right? Because sometimes you can have the best intentions, but then something comes in your way and you can't get your goals done, but it doesn't really matter, you know? I think what is way more important is that you remind yourself over and over again why you want to achieve that goal, right? Why does this goal motivate you? Because here's where most of you fail, where most of us fail, is that we're not being consistent because we think that all of these different goals have to be achieved by tomorrow. And that's super unrealistic. And I think if we set a goal that is really powerful for us, that really motivates us, at the end of the day, let's be honest, it doesn't really matter when you achieve that goal. It just matters that you're chipping away at it step by step. So even if for 2 weeks you can't work out, or for 2 weeks you haven't been as consistent with the goal that you have set for yourself, as long as it's important for you and it really motivates you, you're going to pick it up again and you're going to chip away at it. Because if you are a peak performer, you understand that that the process and that progress is not linear. It goes up and down in all these different ways, right? There's all these amazing pictures out there that really show that progress is not linear. And that brings me to the last topic that I want to touch with you on today in this video, which is, why are we failing? Why are we failing to achieve our goals? And there's a couple of different reasons that I want to share with you today. And I want to see if you resonate with 1 or 2 or 3 of them. Because once you create awareness around why you are not successful achieving a goal, then you can start making changes to that and you can be more mindful and stop yourself in your tracks when you're starting to have certain doubts. So let's take a look. The number one reason why people don't achieve their goals is because they don't want it badly enough. Maybe you haven't really set a goal that really motivates you. Maybe you have picked up a goal, in fact, that somebody else had. Maybe you're just looking left and right and you're thinking, oh, I should also work out more or I should eat healthier, but it's not really an intrinsic motivation for you to do that because maybe you are already pretty healthy and fit. So if you are not achieving your goal, ask yourself the question, do I really want it that badly? Am I really inspired and motivated by this goal? Another reason why you might fail to achieve your goals is because you're not looking for alternatives. So sometimes you might be so stuck on this one thing that you miss the alternatives that present themselves on the way, which is really beautiful and which is why I believe there is progress to be made and learnings to be had. And sometimes it's okay also to set new goals. So for example, if you set a goal at the beginning of the month that says that you would really like to work out consistently, but then after the month you reflect on yourself and you think, well, I haven't really done this. Well, then maybe the goal was too big. Maybe you need to start way smaller, right? Or maybe you need to do something different. Maybe the workout routine that you've chosen for yourself is not really what you really want to do and what really motivates you. And so look for alternatives. That's super, super important. The third reason why you might fail at achieving your goal is because you give up. Super simple, right? We give up. We just give up because it's too hard. We give up because we're not motivated and inspired enough. We give up because there's other things that happened in our life, or because we just are not mentally strong enough. And sometimes, you know what, that's okay as well. But just be mindful of that. Maybe you have given up in the past multiple times and then ask yourself, why did I give up? Another really interesting reason why people fail to achieve their goals is because they don't listen to other people. Sometimes we all think that we know all the things, but I don't think we actually do. I think that we can all learn from each other and that there's always people that are a little bit further ahead in their experience in whatever they're doing. And it's really interesting to actually listen to other people. And if you fail to do that, maybe you are not advancing because you're hitting a roadblock that you have never experienced in your life before and you don't really know how to solve it. So listen to other people. That's a really interesting point as well. And on the flip side, sometimes we are listening too much to other people, which can also be a reason why you might be failing to achieve your goal. So you need to find that balance between taking the right advice, but not listening to all these other people and then getting kind of numbed by that as well. And finally, another reason why you might not be achieving your goals is because you have too many excuses. You are a lot of talk, but not really show, right? We think a lot of good things, we are setting really good intentions, we're writing down our goals, maybe we even started it, but then we are finding too many excuses to not keep on going. I feel tired, I have too much to do, it's too cold outside, right? There's so many different excuses that we can come up with and it's so interesting. So catch yourself coming up with these excuses that are not really helpful, that won't bring you along in the process. If you come up with so many excuses, again, go back to the drawing board and ask yourself the question, is that goal really motivating me? Is that a successful goal? Is that something that I really want to do? Or is that something that I just copied from someone else and that I thought I should do, but I'm actually not really interested in doing? Why are you coming up with excuses? Sometimes, especially when we're trying to create new habits and new goals and new routines in our lives, it's just hard because our brain is literally trying to keep us in that setting of being safe and not doing something new. If you want to learn more about this, I actually have a really good video on my YouTube channel that I'm going to link over here on setting goals and how you can start really setting successful goals. And I hope that will help you as well. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's always really interesting to just reflect on your goals. Even though you might not have been super successful in Q1 2021, don't beat yourself up. This is not a reason to give up right now. That might just be one of the reasons why you're failing, because you're giving up too quickly, but to really just keep on going, to have good intentions, to take really small incremental steps, and to just make sure that you're enjoying the process along the way. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that, maybe you identified a couple of reasons why you are not achieving your goals, and maybe comment down below in this video what is one thing that really resonated with you and that you want to start doing differently. So thank you so much again for watching this video. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in the next video.